family, forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, hard work, family, never forgetting where we came from.
All right. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing out there? You are now tuned in, rolling with the D, live coming at you in the place to be on this beautiful Friday here in Tampa. Welcome to the show. It's Friday, November 7th. We made it through our first week of November. We're coming in for a landing on 2014. I'm your host, Sunny D. Excited to be here tonight. Excited. Got a great show. Got for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you're a first time listener, welcome to Rolling with the D, a live show that comes at you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And why do we do this show? Why do I do this show? What's the reason behind Rolling with the D? Well, starting with Rolling with the D, as we like to say in our world, we're hacking the Bob. So when we talk about hacking the Bob, what we're talking about is hacking the business of beauty. As a trained hairstylist, that's my professional ability, my professional skill, my professional skill set, the industry that I'm in, the beauty industry. No other industry on the planet like it. Going from being a stylist coming out of a Paul Mitchell school where I got my initial training, to then working in a Paul Mitchell school and a Paul Mitchell salon for a number of years, then opening salons. Currently, we have 3 locations here in Tampa. There's an evolution that happens there, and along the way, I was picking up a lot of good information, meeting a lot of mentors, discovering some of the gaps in the industry and in the career path. And one of the biggest gaps that I discovered was the subject of entrepreneurship and what that looks like from the slant of a cosmetologist, the slant of a hairdresser. So I decided that I wanted to start doing a show. Really happened by an accident, completely by an accident. I was just trying to record some video while I was driving of myself so I could listen, not take notes, not put myself at risk behind the wheel. Stored those videos on YouTube. I thought they were unlisted. They ended up being public information. Somebody stumbles across a video and is like, hey, how do I get more of these? And I had an archive of about 70 something videos. You can find all of those on our YouTube channel. And so I started making those public. Then I thought, wow, if there's people that are getting value out of this content, let's take it to the next level. And then the Rolling with the D live show, the daily show, was born. So hashtag RWTD if you're tuning in. If you're a podcast listener and you've got your earbuds in, maybe you're in the car, you're on your commute, you're on your run, you're at the gym. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing to the podcast. What would really mean a lot to me is if you would go and leave some comments, rate the podcast, share the podcast, and make sure you subscribe and leave comments. So this is a video that if you're watching on a pre-record, you may be watching it on Ustream TV. You may be watching it on YouTube. You may have saw a link or saw it shared on Facebook or Twitter. However you're getting the content, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we'll be able to provide some good content for you. So when we're talking about hacking the Bob in the business of beauty, what are we really talking about? Really what we're talking about is tapping into that inner entrepreneur, tapping in to that inner person that everybody, I believe, has inside of them. I don't think this is just reserved only for people that want to either start a business or people that have started a business or people, a male or female. Doesn't matter race, color, creed, sex, does not matter. What matters is if you want to unleash this inner entrepreneur, that person that's in there that wants to do better, knows they can do better, knows that there's more out there, there's more to the world, that they're capable of more. That's really who this show is for. That's the inner entrepreneur. That's who, I want to talk to. And that's why I do this show. So I'm excited. We're coming in to the new year. And one of the questions that I'm asking everybody right now, I'm just coming off of doing the last couple of weeks, doing one-on-ones with all of my team members. We sit down from anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and just look at their entire package, their entire career, artistically look at what's going on with their craft, their technical abilities. We look at their business, show them the numbers, the metrics behind what they're doing. And then we also just talk about their goals. Where are they going with the company? Where are they going in their own personal lives? And as a coach, that's one of the biggest things I can do to help hold people accountable, help keep people moving towards their goals. And within my company, that's something we do on a regular basis. Why do we do that? Because we have to keep people focused. We want to stay focused. We're always moving towards something. One of my mentors said to me, the way that life is, you got one or two options. You're either growing or you're dying. So the minute you're born, the dying process starts and the growing process starts. And the one that you pay attention to the most is the one you get. So if you pay attention to growing, you'll grow. If you pay attention to dying, you'll die. Now, when I talk about paying attention to dying, what am I talking about? I'm talking about paying attention to negativity, paying attention to gossip, paying attention to the rumorville, paying attention to, the things that aren't helping progress your life, progress your goals, move you forward. So we try to stay clear of that. And it's really difficult because you turn on the TV, everywhere you turn, every newspaper, every checkout line in the grocery store, what do you see? You see a bunch of BS. You see a bunch of, things that are targeting, what's wrong with the world, what's wrong with this person, what's wrong with that relationship, who's on drugs, who's on rehab. We have that surrounding us at all time. So if you take your attention and put it on it, you're just helping fuel the fire, but you're also helping plant seeds in your mind. And there's a virus out there, and it's not the Ebola virus. That's not the virus that I'm scared of. The virus that I'm scared of is called the mind virus. The mind virus that eats away at good ideas. The mind virus that plants fear and seeds inside of you. The mind virus that stops you from going for it, from trying, from living up to your true potential, from unleashing that inner entrepreneur, unleashing your greatness. That's the virus that I'm scared of. It doesn't get enough coverage, but a show like this, we talk about that. So that's what this show is about, and that's why we're here. That's why Rolling with the D Daily Show exists, to help combat that, to give you a little inoculation, to give you a serum, to give you something to combat the mind virus. Right now, moving into the fall, it's like flu shot. But there's no shot out there for a mind virus, and that's what Rolling with the D is. Maybe Rolling with the D will be that shot. As the chairman, to stamp out the mind virus epidemic. That's my mission. And I do that within my company. I do that in other companies. I'm doing that for you, hopefully, through this show. So I'm excited to be here. Got some good information for you tonight. I was doing some research for the show. I came across a really, interesting article on entrepreneur.com. It was talking about Fortune 500 leaders, and it was talking about how they spend every minute of their day. And I wanted to share that information with you and just put some perspective on it, because I think I was talking with some of my team members that, we may, I'm 6'4", so I don't know how tall you are, but I could have an advantage if we played basketball and you're 5'5". There's a physical advantage. I would use that to my advantage. Maybe, some people think, the color of their skin gives them advantage. They speak another language, gives them an advantage. There's all kinds of things that you could measure people against each other and say, well, that's why this worked for them or didn't. But the one thing that everybody is created equal on, because there's the saying, all men are created equal, but is that really true? I think in this one area, when it comes to time, we are all created equal. We all have the same 60 seconds in a minute. We all have the same 60 minutes in an hour. We all have the same 24 hours a day. We all have the same 168 hours in a week. When it comes to time, nobody gets a special deal. Doesn't matter how tall, short, fat, thin, black, white, whatever color you are, whatever language you speak, when it comes to time, we all are created equal. So when you think about time, your greatest resource, there's not an unlimited supply of it. It's ticking from day one. As soon as you came out, as soon as you cracked your first, started screaming, kicking, and cut that cord, your time was tick, 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 ticking away. So I want you to be thinking about that. I want you to be thinking about what you're doing with your time. And I thought this show would be great, because this show is actually we're really going to focus on what the Fortune 500 leaders, so we're talking C-level execs, we're talking people at the top of their game, the top of their companies. We're talking, vice president level or higher. And as a CEO of my company, I'm looking at these guys, CEOs and vice presidents of other companies, because I'm constantly looking at ways to be more effective, constantly looking at, how can I model other successful people? And so as I looked at this topic to bring to you guys, I thought this would be huge, because someday, everyone, you're thinking like, what if I make it? What if I do hit that next level? What if I do, make it to become the CEO? What if I do start my own company? Those are things that I know is going through your head. Those are things that constantly were going through my head as I began my journey and started my company, as I started to grow my company from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 different, companies. And if I continue to grow, I need to continue to be effective. And the number one resource that we're always working with is time. So I thought this was pretty cool. There's a gentleman named John Rampton that's a contributor to Entrepreneur that got together with collaborated with another gentleman named Chris Stoll, and that was the resources for the information and the research that I did today. So looking at these C-level executives, that's what we want to talk about. What are we doing with your time? And these guys, the guys that we're talking about are people from companies like Adobe, people from companies like American Express, AT&T, Bank of America, Boeing, Delta. We're talking big companies, John Deere, Johnson & Johnson, Kellogg's, Motorola, Twitter, Google, GE. So looking at the survey, what these C-level execs were asked to do was just kind of log their time, break down a typical day. And that's the information that I'm going to bring to you guys tonight. And I want you to think about that when it comes to time. That is the equalizer. If you're working for somebody, if you're working for a guy or a girl, or you have people working for you, you guys are equal when it comes to time. Nobody gets a special deal. LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball players on the planet, just because he's great at basketball, he doesn't get more than 168 hours in a week. He doesn't get more than 24 hours in a day. People that achieve big things and people that achieve no things, nobody gets a special deal. So I think when it comes to time, that's a huge kind of puzzle to crack. That's a huge, it's like one of those mysteries. It's like figuring out time. How do I manage time effectively and not waste it? Because before you know it, hours turn into days, turn into weeks, turn into months, turn into years, turn into your life. So I want you to be thinking about time and how you're using it. So some really interesting information we're going to be going through tonight. Really excited to be bringing you this content. If this is your first time tuning into the show, welcome aboard. This is a show that we do 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. It's a daily show where we talk about different topics, time, money, business, how to get the most out of your career, how to get the most out of your life. I'm excited to be here with you. Excited to take you through, how do these Fortune 500 execs, C-level vice presidents and above, how do they spend every minute of their day? And that's what we're going to be hacking through tonight. You're hacking the Bob, you're rolling with the D. If you're on our stream, make sure you're using the hashtag RWTD for rolling with the D. Drop your questions and comments on Twitter or Facebook so I can respond. If you want to call into the studio, the number here is 813-870-3700. That's 813-870-3700. You're rolling with the D, so stick with us. When we come back, we're going to go through what these high-level Fortune 500 execs, what they do with every minute of their day. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. This break is brought to you by the Salon 1.0, a Paul Mitchell Focus Salon with locations in Tampa, Florida and Oldsmar, Florida. Are you tired of the same old routine when you go to the salon? You know the one I'm talking about. You go into the salon, sit down, and the stylist says, "What are you getting done?" And then when you leave, you have a shorter version of the same thing you came in with. Then it's time to upgrade your salon experience and visit the Salon 1.0 near you. Our team of salon professionals are trained in the latest techniques in hair cutting, hair coloring, and hair styling, and will offer you customized consultations with every visit. Enjoy our complimentary beverage bar and private shampoo room where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy a hot towel treatment, head massage, and hand massage with every visit. Come in and let one of our Paul Mitchell trained professionals create your new look. Visit us at www.thesalon1.net to schedule your next reservation. That's www.thesalon1.net. You can also reach us in Tampa at 813-280-2953 or in Oldsmar at 813-854-4505. Visit the Salon 1.0 and let us show you what the salon experience is all about. This break is brought to you by Delusion Co. Are you ready to simplify your life with modern, real-time accounting? Then you're going to want to visit Michael and the team at Delusion Co. They offer a variety of services from accounting, bookkeeping, taxes, tax planning, and financial planning for individuals and businesses to help save you time and money. They utilize the latest innovations in cloud-based technology to really help you grow your business, and they can adapt to any platform. They are truly accountants for the digital age and will keep you up to date with the latest strategies and solutions. Get in touch with Delucia & Co. at deluciaco.com, also at 813-252-0-TAX. That's 813-252-0-TAX. Delucia & Co. Simplify your life with modern, real-time accounting. All right, welcome back. You are back in the place to be. You are rolling with the D. And today we have an amazing show for you guys. What I'm talking about today is what do Fortune 500 execs do with their time? How do they spend every minute of their day? You're rolling with the D, and this is what we do here when we're hacking the Bob, hacking the business of beauty. We're looking at time, and that's really, it's the great equalizer. Nobody gets a special deal when it comes to time. You don't get a better deal than me. I don't get a better deal because I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. I don't get any better deal than you. When it comes to time, that's where we are all created equal. You know, we could debate and argue on all of the other, being created equal, all men are created equal, and things like that, because if I'm taller than you and we're playing basketball, you may get swatted, you may get stuffed, I may dunk on you, I'll tell you that right now. But I will tell you one thing, when it comes to time, that's what levels the playing field. So everybody gets a fair shake. 168 hours in a week, 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. Nobody gets a special deal. But what do these Fortune 500 execs do with their time? How do they spend their day? That's what we're talking about today. So looking at the survey, looking at what time a corporate leader wakes up typically, and I'm going to run through their day and we're going to hash out, how they're spending their time. So think about this, waking up. The average, typical time for a corporate leader to wake up is 6:15 a.m. From there, what are they doing? They're going into exercise. So they've got an exercise routine, about 45 minutes they spend doing that. The typical leader, they commute 25 minutes each way, and then every work day, he or she, spends 2 hours and 25 minutes on email, texting, 25 minutes on strategy and planning, 30 minutes on personal development. Personal development is huge, and you know that this show is personal development. So you listening to this, you get inoculated with the antivirus, the anti-mind virus. This is personal development. Also, there's other parts of it within the planning and strategy that's going on. So I want you to think about this. You're waking up. What time do you wake up in the morning? Are you beating the sun up? That's a big thing for me, is I try to beat the sun up every morning. And that's a big thing. I mean, I started, that practice a long, long time ago. And then when I finished high school, went into, the military and continued that practice. But I started when I was a little kid. Went into the military and the Marine Corps. You're beating the sun up every day. You get up. So thinking about what time you wake up. So the typical leader, the typical C-level exec, they're waking up at 6:15 a.m. every single day. Exercising. So from 6:15, to 7 a.m., they're putting in that 45 minutes of exercise. What are they doing that for? Why are you exercising? To control your weight? What else does it do? Think about the other benefits. Improving your mood, helps boosting your energy. It also helps, dealing with stress, right? Because stress, and if you're at that high level, there's tons of stress on you. I see people that aren't even, they're entry level and they're stressed out beyond their mind. So definitely boosting the energy, helping with stress. So that's where they spend that first 45 minutes of their day. So then we're at 7, right? So 7 to about 7:50 a.m., we're talking about getting ready time. Now, when you think about it, in the survey, it was found out that only 70% of the leaders eat breakfast. Most of the leaders, what they do is they grab and go. They take something and they're on the move. They're moving while they're going. So then you got that commuting time. So 25 minutes of 25 minutes. Now we're talking 25 minutes each way on commuting. So there's a total of 50 minutes a day in there. But that 7:50 to about 8:15, they're commuting. And then they're getting to the office and they're going into strategy. So they were reporting back that from 8:15, to 9:15, spending, about an hour there. The average leader spends 2 hours and 25 minutes. So in that time, that first hour, they're working on the emails, they're working on responding. Then they're going into some texting. And an entire day, we're talking about 2 hours and 25 minutes. The typical leader, C-level leader, vice president and above in a company, is spending on email and texting. I want you to think about that. Now, when people email me, I was sharing this with some people. Emails, people are busy when your emails, you start getting emails back and it's 1-word, 2-word responses. Don't take it the wrong way. If you're emailing somebody that's busy and they didn't have time to spell check everything and put periods and capitalization and all that kind of stuff, that's because they're busy. But that you're getting that response, so don't take it the wrong way. But the typical leader is spending 2 hours and 25 minutes, email, texting, things like that. Then we're getting into strategy. So we're in the morning. Now, I know if you're listening to this, if you're on the podcast, think about that. I mean, where are you at in your day when the average leader is already exercise, had a little bite, answer an email, texts, strategy, 9 o'clock in the morning. We're at 9:15. 9:15, we're talking about 9:15 and 9:40 strategy. So think about what comes in the strategy. Setting goals, strategizing, not only for that day, but for that week, that month, that year. So looking over that. Those are vital to what long-term success. Sometimes we don't know what's going on that day until that day gets here. If you don't start planning your day until that day gets here, you are behind already. So you have to think about that strategy. So they're dedicating that time, that 9:15, 9:40, to strategy and to planning. And then they were known to slip in a little snack, 9:40 to 10, taking care of some snack and an email at the same time, doing some more emailing. Then meetings. A lot of meetings are going on in executive world. From 10 to 11, we're talking about meetings. So it might be with 1-on-2, 1-on-1, 1-on-3. I spend a lot of my times when I'm meeting with my team, like I was sharing the last couple of weeks, doing a lot of 1-on-1s. Then going from the meetings, now we're moving into task and projects. So at 11 to 12, they're looking at tasks, looking at projects that they're working on, maybe new product launches, product development, and things like that. Then from 12 to 12:30, there's conference call time built in. So 2.44 hours per day is spent in conference calls and or meetings for most Fortune 500, C-level, vice president and above. Those high-ranking members of those organizations are spending that 2.44 hours is spent conference calls and meetings. And finally, now 12:30, we're at lunch. Yes. Everybody loves lunch. Now, here's the thing about lunch. I don't have anything against eating. I think, eating, obviously, it's essential. It's an essential part of life. It's an essential part of your being. But I want you to think about productivity when you're eating. If you're eating and you're around other businesses or around areas where you could possibly have customers, what would it mean for you to take some of that time that you're eating and do some networking, do some business building, get out and about? If you're going to lunch alone every day, or if you're going to lunch at the same place, you're not making any contacts every day, how are you going to have an opportunity to build business? Lunch is a great opportunity to get new business. So I don't want you to waste it. Because that 30 minutes you've got, 30, 40 minutes, that could be a great opportunity for you to actually capitalize on business. So think about lunch and think about it as a business building opportunity. So they're looking at, 12:30 to 1, lunchtime. You know, I know some people that at 12:30 to 1, I mean, they haven't even got anything done yet. They haven't had no meetings, no tasks, no projects, no goals. You know, when are you thinking about your goals? No exercise. When are you thinking about those things? You know, when are you going to get those things in? So that's going to be an important part of your agenda, how you work. And this is just what these guys did. You know, we're talking about 267 surveys went out to these executives, and from the results came back from over 163 companies, and we're talking like the big boys, you know, the Adobe, American Express, AT&T, Bank of America, GE, Google, Twitter, and this is what they reported back. This is how they're spending their time. And I want you guys to be thinking about that. How are you spending your time? Are you just letting your time just tick, 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 just go by? Are you letting your 160 hours just wing through? You know, when I'm busy, I've got my head down, I'm in the trenches, I'm building my business. You know, it's like all of a sudden I look up and the sun's going down. And I feel like, I'm just getting going sometimes. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, because sometimes it's like I got a lot of productivity, I got a lot of things done. But then other times I'm like, oh my goodness, the sun is going down. I haven't done jack. You know, so when you start thinking about it, I want you to be thinking about, what are you doing with your time? You know, one of my mentors, J.R. Ridinger, he has a statue at his estate down in Miami of Father Time, and he always talks about that, and he sees it, and he walks by it every day. You know, when he's at his house, he's leaving, he's coming and going, and he sees that, and it's just kind of a reminder, you know, what are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your time? You don't have an unlimited supply. And when you think about some of those executives or people that you admire, mentors, people that have made it, people that are hitting it, people, the big hitters, the killers out there that are doing it, they've got something going for them in this arena. They've got a hold of their time. They're manufacturing time. Not in the sense of they got more time than you. They still have the same 168 hours, but they've got a handle on how they manufacture those hours to turn into chunk it, to be more productive. You know, and this is some of the these things that I'm sharing today, how these Fortune 500 leaders spend every minute of their day. Maybe you're going to be able to pull some of this information and see like what they're doing that maybe you can adapt and you can apply to your own company. Maybe you can apply to your own schedule. You know, and especially when you're looking at how do I get more productive, you're not getting any more time. You know, the 168 is gone. The 168 is gone. You know, and I want to, we're going to get into the second half. We're at lunch now. We just got to lunch, but we're going to get into the second half. And when we come back, we're going to go through and we're going to talk about, what those hours, that 168 hours that you have in a week. We're going to break that down. I want you to see, because that's the number one thing. Whenever I ask somebody, I'm like, what are you trying to do with your business? What are you trying to do with your career? What are you trying to do with your life? And then they give me some of their goals, and then we'll start going through and looking at the specifics. A lot of times it's just like vague, a lot of vague. So looking at specifics of what are you doing with your time, if you start tracking it, and you'll find that you probably have some change. You probably have some leftover time that just evaporates and disappears. So when we come back, I'm going to actually go through that 168 hours, and we're going to take it apart layer by layer. We're going to hack through the 168 hours and see if we can't find you some extra time to knock out some of the goals you have. And then we're going to talk about the second half of the day, how the Fortune 500 leaders, the executives, the C-level execs in these companies are spending every minute of their day. That's what we're talking about today, how to get more out of a minute, an hour, a day, and a week. You're rolling with the D. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to keep hacking away at the time, hacking away at the layers that are built up around the time, that maybe find some extra minutes, find some extra little wiggle room inside of a day so you can bust it out and become more productive. So stay tuned. Rolling with the D. We'll be right back after these messages. This break is brought to you by The Salon 1.0, a Paul Mitchell Focus salon with locations in Tampa, Florida and Oldsmar, Florida. Are you tired of the same old routine when you go to the salon? You know the one I'm talking about. You go into the salon, sit down, and the stylist says, "What are you getting done?" And then when you leave, you have a shorter version of the same thing you came in with. Then it's time to upgrade your salon experience and visit the Salon 1.0 near you. Our team of salon professionals are trained in the latest techniques in hair cutting, hair coloring, and hair styling, and will offer you customized consultations with every visit. Enjoy our complimentary beverage bar and private shampoo room where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy a hot towel treatment, head massage, and hand massage with every visit. Come in and let one of our Paul Mitchell trained professionals create your new look. Visit us at www.thesalon1.net to schedule your next reservation. That's www.thesalon1.net. You can also reach us in Tampa at 813-280-2953 or in Oldsmar at 813-854-4505. Visit the Salon 1.0 and let us show you what the salon experience is all about.
Your morning, your job, your activities throughout the day, they all take a toll on you. Then you have to do it all again, and again, and again. Sometimes you need an extra charge. Awake Energy Shots give your body the boost it needs when you can't afford a letdown. Take charge. Get Awake Energy Shots exclusively at shop.com.
This break is brought to you by 1.0 Mitchell Focus Salon and Professional Training Salon. Are you a professional stylist who loves professional training? Or are you a salon owner who wants your stylist to receive the best professional training and become more well-rounded? Then you need to visit 1.0 Express, a professional training salon, where we offer a variety of weekly mini classes and workshops that range in areas such as hair cutting, hair coloring, hair styling, and business building. 1.0 Express, a professional training salon. Visit us at www.thesalon1.net for our upcoming schedule of classes and workshops, or call us at 813-870-3700. That's 813-870-3700. 1.0 Express, a professional training salon for salon professionals who love professional training. We'll see you there. This break is brought to you by Delusion Co. Are you ready to simplify your life with modern, real-time accounting? Then you're going to want to visit Michael and the team at Delusion Co. They offer a variety of services from accounting, bookkeeping, taxes, tax planning, and financial planning for individuals and businesses to help save you time and money. They utilize the latest innovations in cloud-based technology to really help you grow your business, and they can adapt to any platform. They are truly accountants for the digital age and will keep you up to date with the latest strategies and solutions. Get in touch with Delusion Co. at deluciaco.com, also at 813-252-0-TAX. That's 813-252-0-TAX. Delusion Co. Simplify your life with modern, real-time accounting. All right, we are back in the place to be. You are rolling with the D. It's Friday night, ready to get it on. Let's do this. So what are we talking about today? If you guys are just tuning in, we are actually hacking one of the subjects that there seems to be. It's almost like the mentality is there's like a scarcity of this resource, and the resource that I'm talking about is none other than time. We're talking about time as it ticks away. As you came out, you came into the world, you entered, this realm of Earth as a human. You were faced with a dilemma, right? You have two options. You're going to grow or you're going to die. Now, as a baby, somebody reared you, somebody kind of took care of you. Somebody took you all the way, hopefully if you've made it to 18, I've got some young entrepreneurs I know that watch the show, but if you've made it to 18 and you've flown the coop, meaning you're out there, meaning you're now participating, you're in the game at least, you're in the stadium at least, you're in the game of life, what's been happening? How's it going for you? What are you doing with your time? And today, we're talking about time. We're talking about how we look at time. We're looking at what CEOs of companies, vice presidents of companies, these high-level executives of companies, we're looking at how they use their time. And I'm going to bust out my calculator here, and we're going to do a little exercise. So if you're listening to the podcast, thank you for listening. Make sure you subscribe, but maybe do this exercise a little bit later. If you're driving and listening to a replay on YouTube or the video from Ustream.tv, maybe do this exercise a little bit later. But I'm going to go through the exercise, and we're going to start with a week. So I'm going to just start with the input of a week, 168 hours. So when you think about 168 hours in a week, let's think about what is left on the table, because a lot of people, when I'm doing goal setting, when I'm talking about productivity, they're always like, man, I don't have time for anything. I don't have time for my family. I don't have time to do, my hobbies that I used to like to do. I don't get to do those anymore. Did you really lose that time? Is the time missing? Are you like, where did I put my time? Did you lose it? Because I want to go through this exercise because I have a feeling that time still exists. And I have a feeling that it hasn't gotten lost. I think sometimes we lose our way. We lose track of time. We don't lose time. We have more time than time is, that 168 hours, that's a lot. That's a lot to work with. But let's kind of go through the week, and let's, take a person and just kind of figure it out. Okay, what happens in a week if you're working? We'll just say maybe you're working 5 days a week. Seems to be a pretty standard schedule, reasonable. So if you're working 5 days a week, what does 5 days a week look like for you? Maybe we'll say you're working 8 hours a day. So what's 8 times 5? That's 40, right? So we're going to take 40 hours away. So your 168 hours that you started with 168. So your 168 hours you started with, we're going to say you worked 40 hours was work. Okay? And then what about sleep? Everybody's got to get rest. We know we've been told rest is good. We need rest. So what if you had just, the perfect 8 hours a day that we hear people talk about, 8 hours a day. So if you had 8 hours a day and you did that times 7 days a week, that would be 56 hours that you sleep. All right, now we're just doing a week here. We're just working on a week. So now you got your work and you got your sleep done. Now what's reasonable? Let's talk about exercise. Everybody ideally, right, we should be doing exercise. What if you were doing exercise daily and you were doing 30 minutes a day? What if you're doing that 30 minutes a day exercise, times the 7 days in the week? That's 210 minutes, we'll say. 210 minutes. So how much time is that? Let's divide that. We'll divide that by, we'll say, an hour. So that's like 3.5 hours. So that's 3.5 hours for exercise a week. All right, so we got work, we got sleep, we got exercise. What else do you want to do? Let's talk about, bathing. Maybe you take a shower a day. It's getting ready. How long does that take? We'll say maybe if it's 30 minutes. I know there's some ladies out there. We'll give you an hour. Could you bathe? Could you get dressed? Could you get ready every day if you had an hour? So we'll say an hour a day times 7. That's 7 hours. So that's just the shower, and that's getting ready. We'll call that getting ready time. All right, and now let's move into next. What's next? So you got shower, getting ready. Now you got eating. We'll say for each meal, right? We'll say you have breakfast. This is a idea situation. You have breakfast, lunch, dinner. You're going to have 30 minutes for each, right? Some people out there are like, man, I don't get 10 minutes. I don't get 5 minutes. But you're going to have 30 minutes for each. So it's an hour and a half a day. So you got 1.5 hours a day. So 1.5 hours, hour and a half, hour, and 30 minutes a day times 7 days a week. So you got 10.5 hours there. So 10.5 hours, and that's going to be for breakfast, that's going to be for lunch, and that's going to be for dinner. It's pretty nice so far. So now we've got your work done, we got your sleep, we got your exercise, we got your shower, getting ready, we got breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the whole week, every day, 3 meals a day, looking good. What else do you want? I don't even know what the total is. We might have already used your whole 168. We're going to find that out in a minute. But let's think about other things that you might have to do. Maybe commuting. I don't know if you commute every day. We'll just say you commute 30 minutes each way to work every day. So it's an hour commute every day, round trip. Times 7, that's 7 hours. We're going to put down 7 hours for commuting time. So now we've got your commuting to and from work. We got your work, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day for sleeping, 3.5 hours a week for exercise. That's 30 minutes a day. You got 7 hours a week for showering and getting ready. That's 30 minutes a day for that. Actually, no, we gave you an hour. 7 hours. There you go, 7 hours. We gave you an hour each day for showering and getting ready. We gave you 10.5 hours because you had 30 minutes a day. You got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we gave you 30-minute commute time to and from. So you have 7 hours of commuting. What else? Maybe, you have your spouse, you have your kids, you have your dog, you have your fish. What else you have? You have some personal time. So let's say you take an hour for personal time a day. So that's another 7 hours. So you got an hour for personal time. And then what else do you do? Maybe do you watch any TV? Do you watch TV for 30 minutes, an hour a day? An hour a day is a lot, but maybe you're watching some programs and you can't miss an episode of it. You got to watch it every day. I'm going to give you, say, an hour a day. We'll say an hour, so this is seven more hours. 7 more hours, that's an hour a day for TV. If you're a sports fanatic, you're watching the games, whatever. So you got 1 hour a day for TV. So let's add these up because I don't want to run out of time. I don't want to use up all your 168 hours in the week. So let's add these up. So right now we got work, we got 40 hours. Sleep, we have 56 hours. Exercise for the week, we got 3.5 hours. Shower and getting ready, we have 7 hours. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 30 minutes each. We got 10.5 hours. Then you got commuting, you got 7 hours. Personal time, we gave you 7 hours, hour a day. And then for TV, we gave you an hour a day for TV. Now that seems like a pretty decent week, 168 hours. But check this out. The numbers don't lie. With that schedule, all inclusive, it only comes out to 138 hours. You know what that means? You still got 30 hours left on the table. 30 hours left on the table out of 168. Where do they go? Where do they go? 30 hours. So I don't really think, when I did this exercise and I put in my numbers, I was blown away. I have 15, 20 hours left, and I'm thinking to myself, that's a lot of time. I could be doing way more. I could become way more productive, way more effective, sharpening my mind, sharpening my body, sharpening my business with that kind of time left over. So I want you to do that exercise and see how much time you have left on the table. Because the crazy part is when you find out, you might be like, whoa. You got to go back through each of those categories and figure out where your time went. And that's really what we're talking about today. And when you look at these Fortune 500 execs, these VPs of companies, what are they doing with their time? So we got all the way from breakfast to lunch, and now moving in, after lunch. What happens after lunch? Right? So they had their lunch. Now they go from 1 to 1:50. They're doing email, they're doing text, they're doing phone. Then from 1:50 to 3:35, it's teamwork. So this is what these executives report, that over 50% of them, they're spending more time working with people and teams than on their own personal tasks and projects. So spending time working with the team, that's going to be key for the executives. And then at 3:35 to 3:45, they slip in a little snack. And one of the statistics from this survey that was done on over 267 C-level corporate execs, Fortune 500 companies, over 52% of the leaders describe their diet as somewhat healthy. Only 41% enjoy a morning snack, and 45% they enjoy an afternoon snack. So a lot of snacking going on. I don't go anywhere without my bag of Mountain Trail Mix. Got cashews, peanuts, some raisins, a few chocolate M&Ms, pretty tasty. I don't go anywhere without that. So snacking is big, I know, for me. And then now they're at 3:45 to 4:15. Another meeting. They can be found in lots of meetings. 4:15 to 5 o'clock, they're working tasks and projects. And what they reported was that most leaders only spend 1 hour and 45 minutes per day on personal tasks and projects. And then from 5:30 to 6, now it's commuting time again. And then there's dinner. So 6 to 7, only 71% of leaders eat breakfast, but 86% have lunch. 93% enjoy dinner. So dinner is the big meal for the execs. And a lot of those dinners, they're going to be working dinners, meeting dinners, but they may be with families. But that's the stats. 7 to 8:45, there's always some social time, right? So 7 to 8:45, leaders spend around 8 hours per week socializing with family and friends away from work. And then unaccounted from the average times, right? Thinking about this, the average times throughout the day, these execs found that there was about 3 hours that were unaccounted for. 3 hours. So think about that. 3 hours unaccounted for. Where did time go? That might be in that little exercise we just did. We found 30 hours in the week. Right? Seems about right. Then from 11 to 11:30, end of the day at night, they're putting in some personal development time. They're looking at personal development, 30 minutes a day devoting to personal development. And then you're at 11:40, 12 midnight, they're starting to cash out, going to sleep. So think about that. This is what these 267 executives reported from the surveys that were done from all of these companies. The AT&Ts, the Bank of Americas, the Googles, the GEs, the Twitters. This is how they're spending their day. How are you spending your day? That's what I want to know. How are you spending your day? Some of the other stats that came out of this report was that the average leader also encounters 12 interruptions per day, has stayed 6 years with the same company, and travels 4 days per month. Those are just some of the other stats on some of these leaders. Interesting information. The question for you guys to ask yourself is, look at your day, look at your week, look at your month, look at your year, look at your life. I've been doing this 168 exercise I shared with you guys earlier, taking the 168 hours and starting to drill down. Where is my time going? What are you doing with your time? How much of my time is getting wasted? How much of my time is producing results? And a lot of times what you'll find out is there's about 80% of your time, that you're finding is just it starts to evaporate. And there's probably that 20% that you'll find in that equation there that's producing the other 80% of your results. So you got 20% of your time producing 80% of your results. What if you knew what that 20% was? What if you knew how you could be more effective? What if you zeroed in on your time and went through a 168 exercise that I took you through today, and you found out that you had 25, 30 hours left on the table? What would you do with that time? And that's what I want you guys to be thinking about. You don't get a special deal because you're pretty cute, tall, fat, short. You don't get any deal if you're born in America or if you're born in Ethiopia. You don't get any special deal when it comes to time. We're all created equal when it comes to time. The question is, how do you manufacture your time? How do you chunk your time? How do you take that time and bust out? How do you get the most out of it? You got to start tracking it. You got to study what some of these executives are doing, what some of these C-level execs are doing with their time, so you can become more effective with your time. And speaking of time, we now are out of time. So I'm really excited. I hope that you guys take a lot out of this episode. I hope you'll share it, pass it on, share it with friends, share it with family, anybody you think that might need a little checkup from the neck up. It's always exciting for me to do these shows, and I love doing them, and I'm going to keep doing them. You're rolling with the D. Make sure whenever you guys come, you're coming with a mindset ready. If you're on the podcast, thanks for listening. If you're on iTunes listening to this or SoundCloud, thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, share it with your friends and family, hook up some ratings. I'd ask you to leave a rating, leave a comment on the podcast or on the show. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's something else that you see that you're really interested in, that you'd like me to cover. Anything that I can do, just let me know. Love seeing your comments, love hearing feedback from you guys. So thanks for tuning in. I want you to go out there this weekend, have a great weekend. We're coming in. 2015 is literally knocking at the door. And let's make this next year that's coming up. Let's make the rest of our life the best of our life. Let's go out there and let's unleash. Let's discover that entrepreneur that lives in each and every one of us, and let's take it to the next level this year. When you look at the scoreboard of your life, when you look up and you look at the scoreboard, what's it going to say? What's it going to say when you look at the scoreboard and the dust is settling and the game is over? What's it going to say? I want you to be victorious. I want you to unleash your greatness. I want you to get out there. I want you to tear it up. We're in this together, guys. I'm an entrepreneur just like you. I want to be great just like you. I'm working on these things just like you. So we are all in this together, this game called life. So I hope you're able to take some of the things that we're sharing here, retweet it, share the love, pass it on to your friends, your family, your coworkers, and we'll see you back here Monday. We'll be here rolling with the D Live, our daily show. 5 days a week we come to you to give you a little checkup, to help you unleash your inner entrepreneur, hacking the bob, hacking the business of beauty. So have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Be safe out there. Share this with your friends and family, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take it easy, guys.